Konnichiwa. Welcome to your first flipped assignment video. The unit that we're going to be doing first is about family, and we're going to frame this as if it's a family reunion. So you're going to be learning about all of the extra family members and talking about going to a family reunion and meeting them and talking about your life. Let's start with some vocabulary. これは私ですね。私。義理の。義理の is obligatory or obligational. This is like in-law in Japanese. So we have, here's you and your brothers. These are your parents. お母さん、お父さん. Your brothers' wives are your sisters-in-law. 義理のお姉さん from your older brother. 義理の妹 from your younger brother. 義理の。いとこ, there's not any on this family tree. いとこ, however, is cousin. Unlike some languages, cousin in Japanese isn't gendered, so it doesn't matter which type of cousin you're talking about. いとこ. May is the daughter of your sibling, aka your niece. May. Oi, being the son of your sibling or nephew. Mata itoko is also not on here, but you can see that itoko is in it. Mata means again, and a mata itoko is a second cousin. Tsuma or okusan, the dot means there's options. Tsuma, so this person is Oni-san no tsuma. This person is Ototo no tsuma. There's a lot of interesting history about what you should call a person who is a wife. Tsuma is one of the less contentious ones, whereas okusan literally means person in the back, implying that they are the person in the back of the home doing the cooking and the cleaning. Because society is part of language, and language is part of society. Likewise, Otto and Shujin, again the dot means there's options. Shujin literally means master, for what that's worth or not worth. But those are options for husband. Some people have chosen other words like partner that are not symbolic of a power relationship. But that discussion is for another time. And then there is konyakusha. Kon from kekkon, which is marriage. Yaku from yakusoku, which is promise. And sha, meaning person. It's the same kanji. That's the ja in ninja. So a konyakusha is a person who has promised to marry a person, aka fiance. Relationship status. Teimasu isn't a relationship status. However, you're going to hear it, And I'm going to tell you more about it on the next slide. Teimasu. Kekkon. Kekkon, as I mentioned on the last slide, from Konyakusha, kekkon is marriage. Kekkon shiteimasu is married. Okay, no. Rikon, being the opposite of kekkon, and then shiteimasu. Tsukiatteimasu. That's the third time now you've seen that teimasu. Any ideas what it is? Tsukiatteimasu. Dokushin. If you are dokushin, you are not tsukiatteimasu. There's a little star there because dokushin implies more than just temporary singleness, but like you're old enough that you could / should be married, but you still aren't. It's that kind of a dokushin. You could also make the negative of tsukiatteimasu and say tsukiatteimasen. Fukuzatsu. Fukuzatsu, I've used it before in class. Maybe you caught it, maybe you didn't quite. Fukuzatsu, it's complicated. Kanojo, those people are kanojo. Interestingly, the word kanojo can also be the pronoun her, although pronouns aren't used all that often in Japanese. And kareshi. Kareshi can't be the pronoun for he, but kare can. Kanojo can be the pronoun for her. Kanojo, and kare can be he or him. Grammar. All right, the progressive tense. I told you I'd tell you more what teimasu is. That's what this is. In English, the progressive tense is what you're using when you say, for example, that you're using it. When you have the ing at the end of a verb, that indicates that it's progressive. You might say that the verb is still in progress. It's progressive, in a state of being. So, teimasu, kekkon shiteimasu, tsukiatteimasu. That's the ing. So how do you make the progressive form? Step 1 is you put the verb into the te form, which we're not going to do right now, but we are going to do eventually, and then you add imasu. As a refresher, this is my, so kono hito wa watashi no kareshi, kanojo, otto desu. Kono hito wa watashi no oni-san no tsuma no oba-san desu. You can use all those no's to connect them up. All right, so see the sentence, and I'm going to ask you some questions and pause the video and have you answer. Giri no imoto. Onii-san no musume. Onei-san no otto. What are these people's status? Fukuzatsu desu. Tsukiatte imasu. 彼氏がいます